A Shalom Akim, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabashim Rakak Wadash, double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Salute to the sincere Akim out there of the hopeful elect. I was checking out Kim Iverson show, one of her latest streams about a day ago, where she was talking about Azealia Banks going from pro-Israel to pro-Palestine. All right. Now, Azealia Banks is a singer and a rapper, entertainer. You know, I guess she was doing concerts out there in Israel, and she was supporting Israel. And her experience out there in Israel, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, wherever she was at in the Holy Land, she's come to the conclusion that the small hats, the rats in the small hats, all right, are a bunch of racists, and you know that they basically they're no good, you know, and I guess at one time she was heavily, you know, in support of Israel, you know, but now she's you know, I guess now she's pro-Palestine since her trip out there in Israel. But what struck me the most is that, she said, she come to find out how racist Israel is, right? The so-called Jews out there, and you know, she was doing a couple of tweets mentioning black people being the Israelites, you know, from different Israelite groups or sects or what have you, you know, from the Ethiopian Jews, you know, the Rastafari Hebrews or whatever that, you know, that relate to the Hebrew Bible, and how black people have a connection with the Torah, and through black Christians and such, and they naming their churches Zion and things of that nature. But of course, she mentioned the black Hebrew Israelites as well, as that's what they call us, which we're not black Hebrew Israelites. We are the Hebrew Israelites, okay? But it just goes to show you that these entertainers in Hollywood and the music industry, in the athletic world, they all know about us, man. They all know about you Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes, man. All right, the one Westers, so to speak. Okay, and Azealia Banks, I'm not that familiar with her music. I don't know many of her songs, but I guess I've heard of her before, and and she's I guess she had a buzz over certain little controversial things or whatever, but if even she knows about the Hebrew Israelites, then that means all of them mainstream big time artists and superstars among our people know about the Hebrew Israelites, okay? And Azealia Banks was going back and forth with a few small hats, a few rats in the small hats, all right, who were basically trying to debate her back and forth on Twitter, or either Twitter or somewhere on social media, via messages, okay, about black people are not the real Jews, and have no DNA that can be traced back to the Jews, and this, that, and the third. And and she was basically standing her ground about blacks in Jewry, as she calls it, referring to the Ethiopian Jews. Azealia Banks, she don't know much, she doesn't really know the truth, because the Ethiopian Jews, they're not the real Jews either, but our people just identify with being black. And but she did mention the American black Hebrew Israelites. All right, so people are familiar with us, and the gig is up, man. When it comes to you small hats, man, people are waking up to the fact that you're not the real Jews, all right, and you have no DNA evidence that can link you back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, you can be linked to Abraham, Isaac through Esau, okay, all right, through Esau, but really it's not about DNA, a DNA link. linking you through DNA, because you don't have the remains of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, nor Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Okay, so everything is according to the spirit, like it says in Romans 8:16. All right, our spirit with bear witness. Well, our spirit bear witness with. Oh man, excuse Salaki, I'm messing it up. All right, the spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the Most High. Okay, and that's because of according to the prophecies in the Holy Bible that tells you what would befall the Hebrew Israelites, and through a process of elimination, you know, after studying the history of what happened to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, we've come to the conclusion through that process of elimination that we have to be the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, all right. So, you know, that's the point I wanted to make. You know, people are waking up to the fact that you small hats are not the real Jews, and you know, and more acknowledgement and notoriety is being taken into consideration when it comes to the Jews being black, all right, or the Hebrew Israelite movement, which you people call Black Hebrew Israelites. Okay, awareness is being raised about that. So I just want to say Shalom Wabarakim to you brothers and sisters out there. Check out the Kim Iverson show. You can find it on YouTube, Rumble, in particularly the video where she's talking about Azealia Banks going from pro-Israel to pro-Palestinian. All right, Shalom Akim, Lord willing, I'll see you in the next one.